Hey everybody, I'm Jake Holly with Fishing for Bass Outdoors. Today I'll be showing you guys some baits I picked up from Bass Pro Shops. I spent around 40 bucks, so I got a lot of baits for pretty cheap, and I'll be showing you guys the baits that I got, why I got them, and how I will throw them on the water. Now, these baits are just necessities that I'll use on a daily basis, not anything super weird like a Huddleston swim bait. I didn't get any of that stuff. I just got the necessities that you should need around here, like Senkos and frogs, cool stuff like that. And also I got some terminal tackle for all those hooks and weights that I have been lacking. Without further ado, let's look into those baits. So guys, the first bait that I got is a topwater style bait. This is the Spro popping frog. I believe it's the Bronzeye pop. It's just their natural color. Don't really know what kind of color that is. But this is a popping frog, so it's not like a walking style frog like the Booyah Pad Crasher is. This is just meant to pop like a popper. It's basically a frog and a popper designed to be put together and fished weedless. Now, with the regular popper, you mainly fish those in open water and on the edges of those weeds. You can't fish popper. You can't fish a regular style popper through weeds because of those treble hooks. Now with this frog slash popper, you will be able to do that. So you get the action of a popper and the weedlessness of a frog. Now I got this because I want to try the popping style. I have the walking style bait. I have the regular one, but I just want to try the popping one, and I just want to see how it would do. I think I'd throw it on. I'd use a 7-1-1 gear ratio reel, 50-pound braid, and maybe medium heavy to a heavy action rod, just to rip those fish out of those weeds, since you are going to be throwing these in weeds. And you can also throw this in open water too. That's the cool thing about this. Throw this open water and around the weeds. So you got 2-on-1 here. And let's get into the next bait. Now guys, I have a lot of these, but I haven't picked up this color. I've been wanting to try this color out because I've been hearing it is really, really good. And this is the Booyah Buzz. It is in the black color. And the cool feature about this is this right here. It's called the clacker. When the buzz bait spins, when you're fishing it on top of the water, it clacks up against that blade like that, so it makes more noise. I've been hearing that this color was phenomenal in any conditions and any water clarity. And where I live, bass just eat these things up. There is no need for trailers, so I didn't get any trailers. And it depends where I'm throwing it. I usually use a high gear ratio reel, like 7-1-1 or higher. And if I'm fishing it in open water, 15 to 20 pound monofilament. But if I'm fishing it over or near any kinds of laydowns or brush, I use 50-pound spider wire easy braid. I like that stuff because it's cheap and it's very thin, and it still has the strength of a 50-pound braid. So I like this. And oh yeah, and the rod will probably be a medium to heavy action rod. I just like heavier rods for bigger baits. So the next bait that I got is for more finessing those fish. This bait's used for if the fish aren't biting topwater or any reaction style baits. You want to go down and get them, like in a tournament or something, and you're trying to win. This is for when they are finicky and they're just not biting anything else. Mainly in this hotter conditions, I would throw this because bass aren't really as active. They're trying to get more oxygen in those weeds, so you want to go down and finesse them. And this is the Zoom Finesse Worm in watermelon and red chartreuse. Now look, this bait's very interesting. If you guys are familiar with a robo worm likes to dye their tail like that. And this is I think it's a 4-inch. Yes, it's a 4-inch finesse worm in watermelon and red chartreuse. So that should work good because the bass around here probably won't see this color, so this is why I got them. And I'll get into my terminal tackle for what I would rig this on later in the video. it depends where I'm throwing. If it's dirtier water, I would probably throw braid, depending on where I throw it, because I'm not really worried about those fish seeing it as good as they would with the fluorocarbon. I usually use 15 to 17 pound fluorocarbon, and again, it just depends where I'm throwing it. Like, I'll use heavier fluorocarbon if I'm fishing it around clear water with stumps or stuff on the bottom, just to rip this thing free. And gear ratio doesn't really matter. 6:31 to maybe a 7 is about as high as I would go. Nothing too fast, because it is finessing. And the rod, I usually use medium action to a light action to medium action rod, so just so I can feel that tip and I have enough backbone to set that hook. Because losing fish, guys, if you don't know, totally just sucks. As this bait is my last bait, and then I'll get into my terminal tackle. But this is stuff that I've been lacking, and these baits are very high quality. I love them. And this is the Bass Pro Shops Tournament Series Sticko Worm and Green Pumpkin. By the way, guys, Green Pumpkin is the amazing color. Sorry, guys, if the light just sucks in here, because my bedroom's not very bright. But get into that. Very high quality. I know for a fact they are hand poured. Guys, if you read the back, it tells you everything about these baits. Now, what I like about this package is they come in like 16 to 20 for $5. So you get a lot of baits for the amount of price that you paid, and it's not really that much. What I usually would use these baits for, Texas rigging, wacky rig, and even drop shot. It just depends on the situation. So that's the worm right there. I believe this is a 5-inch. Yes, it is a 5-inch. Guys, these worms are thick, high quality, and they're scented phenomenally. And just depends on where I'm throwing it. Like I said with the finesse worms, muddier water, I throw braid just because I'm not really worried about those fish seeing it. But if I'm throwing it around clear water with nothing, just rocks or something, maybe 15-pound fluorocarbon. But if I have clear water and stumps, I'll probably go up to a 17-pound fluorocarbon, just so I can rip those things free. Because, like, losing fish sucks, just like you guys know. You can even use, I've used 15-pound mono before, and it works just as good. So you don't really need fluorocarbon, but the fluorocarbon just adds that the sinking factor and the invisibility factor, because with monofilament it's not exactly clear like monofilament or like fluorocarbon is. But I'm not really usually worried about the fish seeing it, because I don't believe they see the line unless they're really looking for it. That might not make any sense, but if they're like really finicky, they might see that line and not bite. But this is my last bait that I got, and just recap, this was $10, this was about $6, and these were $3, and these were about $5. Just to recap on that, and then let's get into my terminal tackle that I bought. So the first thing that I bought, I wouldn't say it was ideal for drop shotting, because I've used these for drop shotting, but they're not ideal. These are the Gamakatsu wide gap finesse hooks. They're 5/0, and I know that's way too big. Like I rarely even go to a 2/0. I usually use a 1/0, but I got the 5/0s just to try them out. Now, guys, I wouldn't really recommend using 5/0 hooks for your first time drop shotting. Guys, if you're very experienced, I might try these just to give these a just give them a chance to see what and how they perform. Now, guys, stay away from the, I think it's like the squid or something. Just stay away from the hooks that say wide gap, squid, or octopus hooks. Yeah, octopus hooks, that's what they're called. Stay away from those. You don't want those. Just make sure they don't say octopus on here. Yeah, they don't. So these are just the finesse hooks. And guys, I'd rig these wacky, or like when I'm drop shotting, I either rig these wacky or even Texas rig them. Well, not Texas rig them, nose hook them. And I usually throw a drop shot 6 3-to-1 to 5-1-1 gear ratio. 7 gear ratio is about the highest as I would go. And like the Senkos and the Worms, all that stuff stays the same. So medium action to light action rod, braid, or fluorocarbon, and even monofilament depending on where you're throwing it and the water clarity. So I got these, do great, very high quality hooks. Just want to try these out. Now for the next bait I got, or the next piece of tackle that I got, are the Bass Pro Shops Finesse drop weights in 1/4 of an ounce. I throw these on my drop shots because that's what they're meant for. They have a little clip that you can clip on, so you really don't have to tie a knot. But I always tie a square knot to these. And guys, I will probably make a video on a square knot pretty soon and on a Palomar knot, just in case you guys don't know what that is. And these are nothing special, just, they're not tungsten, I don't think. They're lead. Lead weights come in a 10-pack. I got these for like $4. So nothing real expensive, nothing too fancy, just that. And my drop shot rigs are pretty much the same for the Senkos and the Worms. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fishing for Bass Outdoors. Hopefully you guys liked it, and if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope that you take this information that I have given you out to where you buy your tackle, so you can buy your tackle if you guys are starting out or you're not sure what to buy. And as always, I'm Fishing for Bass Outdoors, signing off.